Hi everyone, Natasha here, and around my home today I am in the kitchen so that I can give you a look at my planning process for my new bullet journal, which will start the second quarter of 2019. So before I dive into the actual plan, I just thought I would jump in a little bit and show you how I came up with what notebook I was going to use. That was actually the first part of this whole process. So um, what I did was I just jumped on Amazon and looked up some of the notebooks that I had saved in my wish list as possibilities for my new notebook. As you know, if you've been following along, I'm currently using this official bullet journal, the Leuchtturm 1917. This is the stealth version, so it has the black pages and a couple of the extra like pen test pages. And I think, well, maybe not a pen test page, but it has index pages, key, some descriptions about how to use a bullet journal, that sort of thing. So, and this is my boho berry sticker from, I think, the February box. So, no, I think it was the March box. But anyway, that's the current notebook. So I will be finishing that up for the end of March. And let me just take a peek. As it goes, if you remember, I did my planning. All the calendar pages are in the first part of the notebook, and then at the back I started my collections and then worked backward. And it looks like, how many pages do I have here? So, one, two, not too many. So that's the end of March where I'll do my monthly wrap up. So I go from 189 to about 199. So 10 pages or so that I haven't used so far, but that could change. We still have a few more days to go before March is over. But anyway, that system has worked well. I'm going to keep going with that. So that helped me in looking at notebooks, because one of the things I was worried about is the number of pages in the book. I like the Leuchtturm. It has a lot of good things that work well for me. I'm not as crazy about the color of the paper. I was kind of wanting something that was a little bit brighter white or off-white, maybe ivory color. And I also wanted a little bit thicker paper because I am not crazy about the ghosting. And I don't know that I've had too much bleed through, but definitely ghosting with the Leuchtturm. Now, in some cases, it has its benefits. For instance, when I lay out my daily pages, I can flip back and forth and see the ghosting about where the heading should be. So that makes it a little bit easier, but overall, it's not my favorite part about that notebook. So anyway, going back to the number of pages, I was looking for a new notebook to try, but I wanted to make sure I would have enough pages to do the 3 months that I plan on being in this notebook. So the second quarter of April, May, June, and then some note pages in the back that would be for any of my collections that I carry forward. And so what I did is I kind of looked at the current notebook and I figured out how many pages I'm using for each of these different sections. And then I looked at how many, let's see, minimum and maximum, and then how many pages I had sort of extra. So that kind of gave me a buffer zone to know if I went down by as much as 64 pages, I could still potentially be okay. So what I ended up going with is the Scribbles That Matter, not the bullet planner, the Pro version, this one. And the one with the star, that's how I know that's the one I went with. I really seriously looked at the bullet planner because I thought, well, this is everything I'm wanting, is the nicer paper and all that, and it has some of the things already laid out. But when I looked more closely into it, it didn't have as many blank pages in between for all my dailies. And then I just got to thinking, in the end, that's what I like about doing my bullet journal the way I do it, is I can make it fit exactly what I want it to be. So I went with the Scribbles Pro, again, just from Amazon. So you can see it has 48 pages less, but I knew that I had over or up to 64 to play with. So And I also knew there were a few of the yearly planning pages and some of my collection pages at the back that I was thinking I wouldn't necessarily need to put into this next notebook. So that was how I came up with the notebook. Then I wanted to figure out how many pages before I even started, just to make sure everything would work out, because I knew the months had different amounts of days, you know, from the first quarter to the second and all that. So I just laid out what I thought I was going to put in, and you can see I actually decided not to do this yearly planning page, and I'll kind of show you in a minute part of why that went away. And then yeah, so I just, and the check marks were just as I completed them. And I need to put a check mark here because I did do my June monthly calendar page. And then these were the collections at the back that I was working my way up to the middle with. So now let me show you the notebook. So as you know, if you've been following along, I use the Louise Hay book called Colors and Numbers to basically use numerology to help me in my planning and just to help eliminate one more decision I have to make on things. So this is the book I went with, is the white one, and I did that because the year of 2019, for me, it's a personal year 11 or 2, and the colors that correspond with that are black, white, and pearl gray. So I thought, well, the first quarter I have a black notebook, now I want to try a white notebook, and then who knows, the second and or the third and fourth quarters I might go back to black or find a gray one just to see. But I debated about keeping all of the notebooks black and the same color for the year, but I had really been wanting to try a white notebook. So here it is, and we'll see how it holds up. So overall, one of the things that I really liked was that it has a pen loop already. So that's one benefit, where the Leuchtturm does not. You have to buy that separately. And I do like having a pen loop. I will say that what I've been doing with my Leuchtturm, which totally works, and I have a ton of stuff in there, it's for school and different things going on right now, but what I typically do is put my elastic on and then I just slide it in like that, and that totally works. So I could definitely keep going with that, but I do like having the pen loop on the side, so I'm excited to have that now. The page color is just a little bit brighter, but it's not a stark white, so that is something that I'm happy about as well. Let me pull these out and then I'll show you as compared to my Leuchtturm what the page color looks like. So let me find a blank page here. Okay, so this is the Leuchtturm, and that's the Scribbles That Matter, and hopefully you can see that it is, you know, neither one of them is a true white, but this is definitely lighter. So that was another benefit. And what else? So it does have the thicker paper as well. Now I will say I am kind of on the fence about the paper quality. It feels nice, it's a good hand, but in some ways it's not quite as smooth as the Leuchtturm, and writing on it, it's a little bit toothier, so it's not as smooth to write on. So I don't know, I'm gonna just try it for this quarter and see how that goes and see if that helps me determine that I like it or don't like it. I have not filled out anything on the bullet code or the color code because I haven't changed my bullet styles at all since I've started bullet journaling, and I essentially use the same as what Writer Carol does in his method. The only thing is, for anything that's an appointment, I don't even put a bullet at all. I just write the time, because to me that's the point, is the time. I'm not gonna check off that it's completed or anything like that. And then you can see I started filling in all of my pages. Now I didn't add in the May, but I'll show you that that has been done here shortly. May and June actually. And then I went to the back and worked my way up. And here is where I started with my general layouts. And as you can see, I decided I just wanted to try these stickers. I picked this up at the Target dollar spot, and I don't know, stickers are one of those things. They always look good to me and I want to use them. And then I get them home and I'm afraid to use them, or I can't figure out how to use them. So I ended up using this light pink color from here as just my little boxes for my month titles, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And since I was kind of on a pink and black theme, I was going to handwrite these out, and then I just thought, nope, I'm done handwriting and I want to get this done. So I had some kind of a little freebie calendar from a donation I had made. And so I just cut this little floral embellishment out of the corner of that calendar, and I cut out the 2019 holidays. And of course it had started with January, and I thought, well, this is only for second quarter, so I just cut off the stuff that didn't apply and started with the March dates, which I guess really I didn't even have to include those, but it just filled up the page nicely that way. And to attach everything, I just used my Tombow, what is this? Tombow Thermo Web, I think is it the name of it. So it's just the like double-sided tape. And I do like that because it doesn't leave the page bubbly like a glue stick would. The only downside is once you touch the paper with it, it is stuck. So like this got a little crooked, and I wish I could have fixed it, but it was down, and that was it. So then I decided just to, again, keep it simple and save myself some writing. So I just cut out their monthly calendars and stuck those in. So this will be my future log, and you might notice this is a book for the second quarter, but I don't have any kind of a future log or planning page up front here for April, May, and June. And that is because I decided just to use the actual months in the book where they are. Because I've kind of found that with my current notebook, even though I liked having the layout in the front with the 12 months each having their own page, once you start getting into the month or getting close to the month that you're going to be planning, then those pages kind of become irrelevant. So I decided to go back to having more months on a page and try a future log like this, because I also noticed in my current notebook, I really don't have much in the months that are pretty far out, like the third and the fourth quarter months. I barely have anything in there. So I thought, well, I don't really need that much room. It really starts to fill up as I'm approaching a month or in that month. That's when I need all the dates. So I might as well just make that my monthly page. So then I have my personal year, and I did start filling in some goals, and I thought, whoops, wait a minute, I want to wait and I'll film it first and then finish filling those in. And they're just kind of personal, so that's why I've covered them up. But this kind of shows you the information about the 11/2 personal year for me, and the colors, the word, which is intuition, and the affirmation that goes with the month, which is nice. And then this is the same goal setup I've used all along, and I still like that. And I will transfer my goals that I have in my first quarter notebook to this page, because I have a 2019 goals page in my first quarter notebook. So I want to transfer those goals and just, you know, keep tabs on how I'm going, since those goals are for the whole year. Okay, and then I'll just quickly show you the back of the notebook. So it does have a pocket, so that's handy. I usually have, seems like I always have a couple things stuck in the pocket that I think I need, and then I never end up using, but so what, there they are. All right, okay. So this is a little thing about mindfulness. There are 2 pages for pen tests. At this point, I don't go through and test every single pen. Like I don't go through all my Zebra mild liners or all my Tombows. I just test the ones that I'm kind of thinking about using for a certain layout or a certain spread, and then that helps me see those colors together. So that's useful to me in that way. I do love having this grid spacing guide, which is from Amanda Rach Lee here on YouTube, and I am so happy I discovered that through her, because it's really helpful when I'm planning things out. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, which I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but these pages all have, let's see, where can I show you? Where's my camera? There it is. I don't know if you can see it, but so each page has a little tick mark at the center. It has a heavier dot, actually it's a plus sign here in the very middle center of the page, and then it has a tick mark on either side, and then another one down here on the bottom. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but that has been so helpful, and I thought, gosh, I wish that more notebooks would do that, because most of the time that's all you really need to know is where the center is, and you can like count off of that so much easier. Like in this, you know, I just used that tick mark, and I was like, okay, I have to go one space over, so you're not having to count out all the way over. Same over here. It's just been very helpful to have that. So I love that feature of this notebook. It has 2 bookmarks versus the Leuchtturm, the official bullet journal notebook, has 3, and I don't know, I think 2 is enough for me. I can make 3 work and find a reason to use 3, but it's not like I have to, especially since I have my tabs. That seems to help alleviate the need for a lot of notebooks, but I mean a lot of bookmarks. So anyway, where was I? So I have my grid spacing guide. Now, then I kept up with my Lunar Abundance Calendar from Ezzie Spencer. This time around, I was able to use the Tombow tape, or the, what is this called? Thermo Web. I don't know why I keep calling it Tombow. For some reason, I thought that Kara said it was a Tombow from the Boho Berry box, but anyway, that worked great. So I could stick this down. Again, it might be a little crooked, but it's darn close. And I use this to track my cycle, and I think that's it. So yeah, I have one, you know, it's the full 12 months in my current notebook, and I thought I'm just gonna make, you know, it's so easy to print this out, and I don't feel like recreating something that someone's already done. So I just printed a whole one out, and I'll do, you know, the next 3 months in here, and I'll just keep doing that each time I start a new notebook. I'm okay doing that. Then I kept a page for my YouTube ideas and workflow. And I think that's all I have right now. I have quite a few more collections at the back of my current notebook, but they're just either things that more apply to what's going on right now and I didn't feel like I needed to transfer them, or they're kind of long-term. Like one of them is a things to check out list, and the only thing I've added to that are maybe 3 or 4 books, and I just don't make myself read as much as I would like to. I enjoy it, but I just run out of time and don't make myself do it. So, you know, it's not like I'm checking those off that list all that fast. So I'm contemplating just continuing to use it. Let me see if I can find it. Because it's not that often that I'm trying to think of, or, you know, that I want to add a book. So we'll see. Maybe, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, so this is what my current spread looks like, in a cute little drawing from my daughter. But yeah, so I started this, you know, at the beginning of the year, and I've only completed 1 book. I am working on reading The Chaos Cure by Marla Silly, who's the fly lady, and I am enjoying it because they're super short little like mini chapters, so I can feel like I read a lot, even though I get through, you know, 3 or 4 pages, but it seems like I've completed a lot. So hopefully I'll finish that soon. It'd be nice if I could finish it by the end of March, and then I could start something new for April. But anyway, so I think I'll just keep that there, and if I need to add something, I can always make it again in this notebook if I decide I need to. But so that is how I went about choosing my notebook for the second quarter in 2019. And stay tuned, there'll be another video up shortly that will show you my layout for April and getting started in that new notebook, but hopefully that was helpful. As I mentioned, this is the notebook here, and you can subscribe down below and hit the notification bell. That will let you know when that next video comes up. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.